Hey everybody, good morning. It's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. Actually, I think it might be past morning. I'm not sure. So I'm in the 3.5 Monster Manual. And we're at the very end here. We have a couple more entries, and one of them is the Yuan Ti or Yun Ti or however you say it. And there's the half-blood, which is like looks like a person that's snake-like, and it's kind of reminds me of more of like a Robert Howard Conan kind of thing. And then you have the very 70s movie kind of snake one, and that's the one I want to do, I think. So they have some spell-like abilities and a scimitar. And let's see, special attacks. Yep, they have they have alternate form, so they can change their appearance to manipulate and confuse. And that's about as exciting as it seems. Is there an alternate form discussion here somewhere? No. All right. They can produce acid. No, that's the half-blood one. That one can produce acid. Apparently the regular one is about the same height and weight as a human. Yeah, they can impersonate a human, but it doesn't say anything about acid for them. Okay. So let's take a look at it again. Something like that. All right, so the first thing I came upon when I was looking through my miniatures was this, and he would be a perfect candidate, and I almost feel like I have to use him. The other things I looked at were maybe him with some kind of dragon head or something, snake head, and maybe this guy with a different head, but then I saw this armor was like kind of hardcore, and I don't want to do it. So as much as I usually would go this guy for y'all's sake, having this snake dude, I think, would provide a much, much better product. So that's what I'm going to do, is use the snake dude. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip him off there. And I'm not sure if I want to take that belt off. I think I like that kind of natural barrier it creates, but you know, we'll just take it off to be safe. All right. Sweet. All right, is my glue gun hot yet? We'll see. Okay, I've only been down here for like 2 minutes, so. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is get that on there and let that cool in place. I'm going to get a wire brush, and I'm going to rough that up. That did not stick there for some reason. Maybe it's too cold. I don't know. There we go. I'm going to rough that up a little bit so it holds paint and glue a little better. I'm going to cut a couple of scratches onto it with my knife. Okay. And I'm going to get my super glue. Let's get some baking soda and finish it off. All right, sweet. Now, I think the easiest thing to do would be to make a tinfoil body so we can kind of wrap it and twist it how we want. I do have some tinfoil laying out left over from yesterday's deal. So, let's take that and see what we can do with it. Oh, no good. Moisian. Not quite long enough for what I want. Let's see if I can do a little better. Okay. I'd like it to be kind of curled around and Looking good. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, see how big his body is. Cool. Okay. All right. So to get that in place, I might have to snip that little bit of tail piece off there. That's okay, though. I can live with that. All right. All right, can I deal with that tail in any better way than I have it right now? I can possibly make that work. Okay. So, we don't want tinfoil texture. So we're going to just lightly take our time and get this all around. There. We're going to make sure our body matches up nicely. Just like that. Looks pretty good. It's a little loose. And to finalize that bond, oops, lost my lid. Okay. Hold that in place. Get some glue there. Oh, no good, no good. Oh, shit. No problem. Let's try that again. Okay. We'll just carefully get around the sides too. Try to get them all gooed up. Let's let that run down the body some, and that'll sturdy that up. There we go. We'll just get it all down the tail. Okay. And we'll just sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. So we get it solid. Then we'll come back in and fill in holes and try to make it look a little better. So like we have a weird crack here. We're just going to do some glue there. And we're going to sprinkle some for buildup till we feel like it's covered. See that? There's a little weird part back here. We're going to get glue and build that up. Okay. And we're going to try to get rid of any more texture left over from the I can't think of what it's called, tinfoil. Okay. That'll hide any of that texture, I think, pretty good. Now, I'm going to get a emery board when I can find one. Put flying glue gun, of course. All right, I'm going to get an emery board here. And then there's a little bump on the side here I don't like. I'm just going to clean that up. Okay, there's a little crack right here I don't like. Fill that with glue. Okay. All right, so I spilled a little bit of paint on my table over here, and that's okay. I'll just use that to base coat him. This is some kind of brown I was using for something else, but now it's just going to be his base coat. Since I spilled it, it's got to be cleaned up anyways. Might as well use it. And this has been sitting out since last night, so I'm surprised it didn't dry. Because I had a fan going, but it is a little chilly in here, so. I did not leave the space heater on in here because I didn't know if it was going to be safe. It's an older space heater and I don't trust it. Okay. Get that cup of paint cleaned up real quick. Oh, my spleen. Just wipe that up. All right. Let's take a look here at what we got. That could work. Alright, so he does not have a scimitar. Oh, the best way to do that would be to get a piece of plastic and make one. I almost always have a coffee lid laying around with a bunch of weapons cut out of it, and I can't find it. Yeah, I don't know where that coffee lid went. Let me see if I have another one. Probably have something. Yeah, I can't find that coffee lid. MIA! Someone has stolen my coffee lid. You cads. Alright, so we have no coffee lid. So we're going to get in here in my weapons box, and find a scimitar. What was that? I saw something. There we go. This is actually for a giant skeleton. It's going to be ridiculously big on this mini, and it's been painted before, which is not ideal. So what we'll do, let me get a little sanding block for that. And also, this has been sitting, and it's a little curved. So I want to straighten that out some. That should do it. All right, let's snip that off. And then that's ridiculously big for him. So we are going to just kind of come along the back here. There we go. Trim that down. See if we can't get some more of that paint off real quick. All right. Okay. I think that's going to work. we're going to get the tiniest butthole dab. That's too much. And then trying to use that almost as like the wrist guard or the hand guard. It's pretty straight, pretty even. So let's get a little bit of glue on this and get a toothpick. And paint it around. Give it some connecting area. Grab it, drag it onto the back of his wrist. Okay. Oop. Mistakes were made. Okay. Look. Come on, you do what I want. Scheiße. Not today. Come on, fingers. Behave. I cannot get it to do what I want. I apologize. My fingers are not holding it steady. All right, let's see if I can't get that. Is it sturdy now? Mostly. All right, where's my glue at? This would have been way too hard for me to pin anyways because of how tiny it is. I can't see well enough, or my fingers can't behave well enough for that. So I'm okay with this being the way it is. I think it's sturdy now, though. Yeah, all right. Put the glue away. The lid for this glue got dropped on the floor, but I had another one laying here. All right. There's my Yuan Ti. I'm gonna get that brush I had. Clean that out a little bit. I'm gonna air gun that glue. Make sure it's dry. All right, something like that. get a bigger brush and a dark green paint. I'm going to look at the artwork again and make sure he's green. I assume he is. Yeah, he's green. All right, I'm going to get a dark green paint. This is called Arbor Green, and I'm going to paint him up with this. Make sure your brush is damp. I just put mine in my mouth. I'm not going for perfection, as usual. But I'd like to get a fair coat on him, but it's not going to be perfect. It never is with me. If you want perfection, there's 1,000 other YouTube channels out there that would probably be better suited for you. All right, that's a pretty decent base coat, I would say, of the green. I'm not worried about getting it anywhere else. We'll fix that in post, the paint job, you know what I mean? So, the green in the book looks a little sickly. So I'm thinking that we can try to reproduce that a little bit with our paint job, but I'm not sure how much. All right, so now I'm getting a lighter green. This is called, when I find it, palm leaf. And this is going to be significantly lighter, I think. Yeah, that's significantly lighter. That's what I want. All right, we're going to get that, and we're going to get a little bit of gray. Like a mid-tone gray. I'm using pewter. So I'm going to grab some of that green, a little bit more, some of that gray. I'm going to hit them up pretty good, trying to get most of the model covered in this. That little bit of green that shows underneath in the cracks and stuff will be a shading, and the rest of this will be his main base coat color, his main tone. Okay. And like I said, don't worry if you get it on the base or on the sword. We can come back and fix that later. Is he about human size, or did I make him too tall? No, he's close enough. All right, so we're going to lighten that up a little bit more using a lighter gray with our green. That was country gray, if you have it, or any light gray will do. Okay. And we want to get a lot of that off the brush and leave very little left. Okay. Leave that gray there. Get a lighter green. This is called limeade. If you have kiwi or any of those other kind of light colors, they'll work good for this, I'm sure. Get some of that. Nice. I'm going to wipe a lot of that out, and I'm going to steal that light gray. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow tone to that too. Personal preference. And I'm gonna add a little bit of light brown too. I'm just trying to find my color that I want to pop details on. This is khaki. That yellow is called Golden Sunset. See if that's what I wanted. Still too much on there. Let me grab another piece of something to wipe on. Use my towel here. Still a little bit much. That's what I want. Just a little bit. Make sure you hit that chest so you can catch any of that detail. Drag it on those arms and shoulders and hit that face pretty good. All right, cool. Now, let's get a small brush and do the sword. I have a metallic blue here somewhere that I'm always looking for a reason to use, and I can never find it. Can't find the metallic blue. I actually love the color too. Got it. All right, I want to use this metallic blue very lightly on this sword, but I don't want it to be an intense part of the sword. So I'm going to get that. And my regular brushed dark gray, which actually looks a lot like gunmetal, believe it or not. I'm going to get that. I'm going to touch that blue and mix those together till I have a nice metallic blue color. I'm going to paint up that sword blade just like it. Okay. We'll let that start to dry. We're not done with our silver. Okay. I'm going to rinse out my brush, and I'm going to hot air gun this dude. Dry that sword off. Then I'm going to come back with a crappy plastic brush in that silver. I'm going to get most of that off. And I'm going to come back and make the sword a little beat up. Just a little bit. All right. Yeah, I like that. Clean that brush, set it off to the side. I'm going to get brown. And I'm just going to use dark brown because this is the same color I'm going to use on the base. And I'm going to drag this so carefully along that handguard that I designated with glue. Oops, hit my camera. Okay. You see there's no grip or pommel coming out the bottom. That's okay on something like this. I don't think that's going to be the first thing people notice. I'm going to clean that brush out and get my bigger brush again and do the base. But actually, you know what? I'm going to outline the miniature with this little brush, so I don't make any mistakes. Might as well just do it like this in general. It's not that big of a base. It won't take that long. All right, all right. In the garage, in the garage. Okay. Looks all right. Let's air gun this dude. Air gun this dude. Hello there, hot air gun of burning +2. You phenomenal, beautiful magic item, you. I am in dire need of your help. All right, cool. Now let's think about his eyes. So in the book, his eyes, I think, were yellow. Yeah, they're yellow. So we're going to get some really bright yellow. I'm going to switch to a miniature paint because I don't have a very bright craft paint yellow. Let me shake that up better. And I'm going to get a very fine brush because his eyes are pretty tiny. This is a fractional brush. I can't even see his eyes. All right. Then using that same little brush, I'm going to get off-white. I'll grab a craft paint for that. This is ivory. It's like a yellowish white. This should do. And I'm not going to get in here and do an enormous amount of work on his mouth. But I am going to catch those little teeth like that. And with that same brush, I'm going to get a dark red. And I'm going to do a couple lines down the middle of his mouth. On the inside here. Just so there's some red there. And you can see that's his mouth. Nothing too spectacular. All right. So we're almost done here. Let's get a little crappy plastic brush and see if we can't make the base look a little more interesting. And maybe we'll paint that base black around the edges too. I don't know yet. I'm getting a mid-tone brown. This is called melted chocolate. I use this quite a lot, and I have a cheap plastic bristle brush. Let me get a little bit of that. And I'm going to come on here and pull that around on that earth part. To break that up a little bit. It would serve well to probably give him a light green wash or a dark, light gray wash or something, but I'm thinking I'm not going to do that. we're almost out of time here anyways. We'll see what, maybe I'll make time for it. I mean, I guess I control the length of the video, but man, after 40 minutes, nobody will watch, so. It's like exactly at 40 minutes. People are just like, nah, I'm done watching this now. I'm leaving. Some magic thing. I will watch you do everything but the final part, and then I'm outie. So if I were going to let somebody in my campaign play something like this, I think what I would do is, like, they would have a weird thing that when they roll awareness, it also counts for them licking the air to taste things in the air. Because I always, like, imagine that's what snakes do, is they're tasting the air. I don't know if that's true, but they stick their tongue out an awful lot, it seems like. My buddy had one. It wasn't a venomous snake or anything. It was like a python or something. I think it was a python. I was young. But that thing always had its tongue out. It was always licking stuff. And you know what? It never was like doing anything interesting. I'd be like, hey, dude, feed it a mouse. He's like, no, it already ate. I'd be like, well, tell me when you're going to feed it a mouse. I'm like, no. And then I was really disappointed to find out, I think he was feeding it frozen mice. And I'm like, oh, I thought they had to eat like hunt and kill what they ate. Like, snakes aren't that exciting. Some could be, I suppose. But if you had a cobra, it'd be exciting. If you had a cobra, it'd be like, Cobra! John Gordon Levitt, or Gordon Levitt John, or Huey Lewis Levitt, or whatever that guy's name is, would come out as Cobra Commander. All right, so that's our Yuan Ti. That's how it turned out. I do think, hold on. We'll put some flock on it too. But maybe we won't put flock on it, but here's what I want to do. I am not Omega happy with the way he looks. So I'm going to get a soft tone wash. And a HeroClix base. And I'm just going to get a little bit of that there. I'm going to get a crappy brush. And I'm going to clean him up with this. Making him look a little dingier, and getting in some of those cracks, making him not look so vibrant green. And this is a personal choice. You don't have to do this. You don't want to. If you don't want to do a wash of any kind, you don't have to. But I just felt like he was too something. He needed a little bit of a cleanup. To be a little more something. Now remember what I said. If you haven't let this paint fully cure, or you haven't treated it with a clear coat before you do these kind of like oil-based washes, you don't have a lot of time, because it will reactivate that paint. You know, put you in kind of a spot. So you got to move quick. And if you put too much in some spots, depending on how long you invested in the paint job when you got to that point, if you invested a lot of time and you rushed on this, that's your fault. But for quick stuff like this, you have very little time to play with it, okay? So get it on there, move it around a little bit so it's not too thick anywhere, and then kind of let it go. Something like that, okay? Now, I'm going to do the unspeakable, and I'm going to hit him with an air gun, and that's just because I got a little bit on the black part of the base. I want to fix that. Using that incredibly cheap, terrible brush, I'm just going to come back and touch up my base. Scheißen. So if you like what we're doing here on the channel, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon. Leave a comment. Go to the website and buy a miniature. Not these miniatures that we're making here. No, the real Dungeon Swag. Beautiful 3D printed resin miniatures with high detail, flexibility, and sturdiness. Unlike most of the 3D prints you see out there. Quality, good products for a reasonable price. Brought to you not by a major corporation that's trying to eat your soul, but by two guys working out of their garages and basements trying to build a business. We both work full-time jobs, and we're just like you. We play tabletop games, and we're nothing fancy. We're just people. We're trying to make fair prices. If you wonder why we're cheaper than our competitors, it's because we don't skim anything from the business back into our pockets. It all goes right back in. That's how we keep our prices down. And I'm not saying that someday we might not be like, we make so much money, we should take some. But right now, we make sure that everything goes back in to make sure we bring the best product we can to the table. And that's important because if you don't have a good product, there's no reason to build a good business, in my opinion. And I think Squarebic probably agrees because he's been on this ride with me. So there's the Yuan Ti. Ooh, spicy. See you next time. Thanks for watching.